Alright, Cheddar, yes. You win.
Then a Warbond concept would be for asking for a Warbond concept to be a fat-ass tank. I still propose to you a Warbond concept video near fat-ass tank.
If any of you enjoy this video, make sure to thank Cheddar Yes in the comments, because I know he'll be there. I've had some time to come up with ideas for a new Warbond, and I decided on doing a medic-themed Warbond. It's something that the community has been wanting for a long time, and I agree, a medic Warbond would be awesome. So I came up with Medicinal Madness. This fictional Warbond features some brand new game mechanics and fresh ideas for new weapons. Now, I gotta be honest, I'm no artist. I can barely draw stick figures, so I decided I'm not gonna make a visual mock-up for any of the items I'm gonna talk about. It would just be a waste of time because everything would look like a mess. But I will do my best to show off the inspirations for these items, so hopefully you guys can imagine what they would look like in Helldivers 2. I wanted something that took the drugs we use in our stims, that technology that heals limbs and stops bleeding, and I wanted to integrate that kind of stuff into our other items, like armor, for example. So let's talk about armor. The armor in this Warbond would be visually inspired by the Trauma Team units from Cyberpunk 2077. They still have that medical look, they have that sickly green color for their suits, but they're still very armored and lethal. I really love the look of these guys. They have badass, bulky armor with awesome looking helmets and really cool gear. Plus, they're not far off from the medkit armors we already have, visually speaking. So it's not like it would be a leap from the current style of the game if they were to introduce something that was visually inspired by this kind of stuff. The armor passive that comes with these new armor sets would be called Drip Feed. It will slowly heal the user over time if they haven't taken damage for 10 seconds. It would not be enough to be overpowered, but it's enough to save on stims if you stay out of combat for a decent amount of time. Like if you stay out of combat for like half a minute to a minute, you get like your health back instead of having to stim. I think that's, a pretty cool perk in my opinion. This perk will encourage you to stay safe and play defensively instead of rushing in guns blazing when you're low on health, trying to take out as many enemies as you can before inevitably dying yourself. No, that's not what this is about. This is the opposite of that. The Drip Feed passive will come with another big perk. Stims will overheal you for 33% of your max health, adding it onto your original health bar. Extra health will decay over time, so you can't just run around with extra health all day long. I understand this is kind of like a big deal adding an overheal mechanic, but I don't think 33% would break the game. I think it would be a strong passive, but we already have a lot of other really good passives like Siege Ready, extra padding, Democracy Protects. We have other things that can really help you in combat. An extra third of your health isn't going to save you in most situations where you would already have died. And just so we're clear, the healing over time perk will not add to the overheal that you get from stims. Healing over time stops at 100% of your health, the end of your normal health bar, so you don't get a natural health boost for the entire mission. Now I want to talk about the weapons that I came up with. I came up with 4 different weapons, a primary, a secondary, a grenade, and a support weapon. So let's just jump right in and talk about the primary that I came up with, which I named the BR-26 Anesthetic. I wanted to make something that was similar to the original Adjudicator, which would be a single-shot battle rifle that is good for medium range. It will come with a 25-round magazine, and each round will deal 125 damage with light armor penetration. I'm just ballparking it here. These aren't like, if I was to add it to the game, I would make sure that I look at design documents and the current balancing. I'm just spitballing my stats for these weapons. So it's nothing special at first glance. However, this weapon comes with something very, very special. An underbarrel grenade launcher. When you hold the reload key and pull up your little weapon customization menu, you can switch your firing mode from the rifle itself to the grenade launcher, which has a separate ammo capacity. It has its own ammo pool, so using ammo for the rifle does not take away from the grenade launcher. This grenade launcher deals great damage when it impacts an enemy and penetrates medium armor. The grenade then detonates, stunning enemies in the area just like a stun grenade does. Then you can toggle back to the rifle and take out each enemy one by one. I think this is a very unique idea. I haven't heard many people talk about what an underbarrel grenade launcher would look like in Helldivers 2, and this seems like a good way to implement that mechanic. Maybe in the future they will add grenade launchers to the underbarrel slot for some weapons. Who knows? Anyways, this is a dream weapon of mine, and I really hope we see something like it someday because I like marksman rifles, and I like assault rifles, and I want something that's a bit in the middle. I want a good single-shot battle rifle that is powerful enough and comes with something as cool as an underbarrel grenade launcher. Now, we're going to talk about the secondary, the SG-58 Corroder shotgun. The Corroder is a secondary shotgun, obviously, but unlike the Bushwhacker, it uses magazines instead of being break action. Each magazine fits 6 shells of poison flechette rounds. Yes, poison flechette rounds. So it penetrates medium armor and applies the gas status effect to enemies. The shotgun will have a very wide spread as well, like the Bushwhacker. It won't do as much damage, of course, but it reloads fast, can hold 6 shells at once, penetrates medium armor, and poisons enemies. Imagine how cool this would be with a ballistic shield, tanking hits from enemies and striking back with a vicious shotgun that confuses and poisons them. I hope you guys like this idea as much as I do, because I love the feel of shotguns in this game, and we definitely need more variety when it comes to shotguns. I also think that one-handing them is badass, so I definitely want another secondary shotgun. And of course there is a grenade, the P05 Spritzer. This is an impact grenade without any damage, stagger, or demolition force. This sounds pretty shit, doesn't it? So what does it do? Well, it bursts on impact and releases a healing mist. This is heavily inspired by the Bacta-bomb from Star Wars Battlefront. Wait, I mean Star Wars Battlefront EA. You can toss it at your allies to heal them back up, and overheal them as well, just like the stims from the armor passive. This would definitely be a huge sacrifice from the player. Getting rid of your grenades means that you have one less way of destroying enemy buildings like fabricators and bug holes, but it opens up new opportunities for your loadout and adds a lot of build diversity, I think. My main goal with this Warbond concept is to open up the idea of a viable support role in Helldivers 2, something that is more like a traditional support from other games, a traditional medic, but comes with their own unique tools. And I think that this is a really good addition because it makes you trade something really important like grenades and add healing in that slot instead, which, you know, means you're going to be relying on stratagems a lot more for destruction and even your friends too. Speaking of stratagems, I came up with 2 stratagems that I think would fit really well in this kind of Warbond. My first one is the P31 Medical Applicator, which is a support weapon. This one is inspired by the Metagun from Team Fortress 2. It's a support weapon with a stationary reload, but no ammo backpack required. This weapon will spray a medicinal mist that heals allies and overheals up to 133%, just like the stims. Keep in mind that the overheal does decay, just like Team Fortress 2. So to keep your team overhealed, you'll need to follow them into combat, you know, dedicating yourself to being their support, a lot like Team Fortress 2. I think it's just a good idea, and it makes sense that for everyone to have more health, you are sacrificing another gun, pretty much. You have to have someone backing you up with that healing weapon. The Medical Applicator will also come with an alternate firing mode that sprays EMS fog, so you can use it to stun enemies and slow down enemy movement. This can save you in a pinch, but it won't be enough to fully eliminate the threat, of course. So you'll need to switch weapons or have your team come and help you out. You scratch their back and they scratch yours. This weapon takes the term support weapon quite literally. The main function of it is to support your team in combat, either through healing or by stunning enemies for them to finish off. Personally, I think it's a great idea. I think this in particular really opens up the idea of a more supportive role in Helldivers 2, but you can let me know what you think about that in the comments. The other stratagem that I came up with is the Orbital EMS Barrage. I briefly mentioned the idea of an Orbital EMS Barrage in a video recently. It was totally off the cuff, and I thought of it while I was recording the video, but it stuck with me, and I think that would be a really cool stratagem. Imagine an orbital 120mm HE barrage, if you will. Now imagine all of that, but instead of killing everything in the radius, it dropped EMS fields instead. Now that would be pretty cool, right? Give it a cooldown of 150 seconds and call it a day. This would make a giant area where enemies would constantly be stunned and everybody would be slowed down. So if you can press through the EMS fields, you could take out a ton of enemies. Entire fortresses would have all of their personnel shut down and ready to be taken out. But be careful, if that stun effect wears off a bit too soon, you might find yourself in the middle of a bunch of pissed off enemies. Sure, it's not a conventional orbital barrage, it doesn't lay down heavy firepower and take enemies out, but I think that if you give it that much utility in that wide of a radius, you would have something pretty special on your hands. I think that I'm not a big fan of the Orbital EMS Strike, but an Orbital EMS Barrage does kinda tickle my fancy. And that is pretty much all I have. Like I said at the beginning, I'm not an artist, so I don't have any ideas for cosmetics, you know, the capes and the player cards. I don't have any ideas for those. I just wanted to share my ideas for a unique Warbond concept and talk about some weapon and stratagem ideas that I think should really be in the game. Make sure to thank Cheddar Yes for this video. He wanted it made, so I'm going to credit him for the idea, of course, because I never would have made this video if he didn't ask me in the comments of every single video. I'm exaggerating. And to be honest, it makes me really happy that people would want to hear my thoughts on something. It's insane that I'm even able to say that I have fans and viewers, so I really want to thank all of you for your support, especially when you actually care enough to ask me for a certain kind of video. It shows that you actually do appreciate the videos I make, so thank you again. I just reached 5,000 subs recently, which is insane to me. I can't even imagine 5,000 people. And if you really want to see this channel grow in the future, then consider becoming a channel member, because I have just launched channel memberships. If you really want to support the channel, then this is the best way you could do that. But nothing will change for people that don't become members. Non-members will still be getting all of the same content they always have on this channel. Members will get loyalty badges next to their names in the comments. These evolve over time the longer you stay as a member. You'll get some emotes you can use in the comments and in live chats during my streams. The more members we have, the more emote slots we have, which means more fun for us as a community. Plus, you'll have your name listed and read by yours truly at the end of every single video. So if you enjoy my videos, please consider becoming a member. And again, non-members are still getting the same content they always have. In fact, I'm picking up the pace a lot on my videos right now. I used to struggle with making videos, you know, multiple times a week, but right now I'm making them like every day and a half pretty much. And I'm even streaming again. So stay tuned because there's a lot going on this channel and I wouldn't want you to miss out. And that is all I have for today. So this is the SES Prophet of Dawn signing off.